The UES Thunderchild entered the vast docking bay of Confederation Central Station quietly. The human ship looked small next to the giant alien vessels. Its clean metal surface reflected the station's lights, making it shine despite its size. Captain Juwu Park watched from the bridge window as alien ships towered over hers. She kept her face calm, even though she could hear the aliens laughing through the translation system in her ear. "Is that really Earth's best ship?" a rough voice said from the Drakari group. "Our smallest scout ships are bigger than that." Juwu felt her second in command, Commander Taehyun Kim, go stiff beside her. His jaw tightened as he listened to the insults. "Captain, they're openly mocking us," Taehyun whispered. Juwu smoothed down her blue uniform jacket. "It doesn't matter. Let them laugh all they want. We aren't here to show off weapons or size. We represent Earth, and we'll do it with dignity." The ship docked with a soft hum. Juwu led her small team to the exit doors. They had practiced for months for this first meeting with the Galactic Confederation. Earth had only developed faster than light travel 3 years ago, making humans the newest members of the space community. As the doors opened, Juwu got her first real look at the Drakari. They stood nearly 8 feet tall with hard, shiny exoskeletons that looked like dark blue armor. Their 6 eyes blinked at different times as they stared down at the humans. Admiral Grak, the Drakari leader, stepped forward. He towered over Juwu, his mandibles clicking as he spoke. "Welcome to Confederation space, humans." His voice came through the translator with a metallic edge. "Though I must ask, where are all your weapons? Your ship looks defenseless." The other Drakari made sounds that the translator identified as laughter. Behind her, Juwu could feel her crew's discomfort. Lieutenant Yoonji Choi, their intelligence officer, stepped forward with a slight bow. "Thank you for your welcome, Admiral. The Thunderchild serves as a diplomatic vessel. We come seeking peaceful relations." Admiral Grak's mandibles clicked faster. "Peaceful? In this part of space? How charmingly naive." The Drakari delegation laughed louder. Other alien species watching from around the dock began to join in. The sound echoed through the massive space. Juwu maintained her professional smile. Earth had known this might happen. Their intelligence had suggested the Confederation respected military power above all. But Earth had made its choice about how to present itself. "Admiral," Juwu said calmly, "we look forward to learning from the Confederation's wisdom and experience. Our ship may not impress you, but we hope our ideas and our willingness to cooperate will." Grak leaned down until his face was close to Juwu's. She could smell something like mint and metal on his breath. "Let me offer you some free wisdom, Captain," he said quietly. "The Confederation isn't a place for the weak. Those who cannot defend themselves soon find themselves gone." Juwu met his gaze steadily. "We understand the universe can be dangerous, Admiral. Earth has faced its own challenges. Not like the ones you'll face out here," Grak said, straightening back up. He turned to his delegation. "Show our new friends to their quarters. The small ones, of course. We wouldn't want them to get lost." More laughter followed as a junior Drakari officer led them away. As they walked through the station's wide corridors, Taehyun leaned close to Juwu. "This is exactly what Earth Command warned us about," he whispered. "They see us as easy targets." "Good," Juwu replied softly. "Let them underestimate us. It's safer that way." Lieutenant Yoonji fell into step beside them. "I've been watching the other species' reactions, Captain. Not all of them share the Drakari's attitude. Some seemed curious about us." Juwu nodded. "Make connections where you can. We need allies." As they reached their assigned quarters, Juwu paused and looked back toward the dock where the Thunderchild sat, small but proud among the giant warships. "They laugh because they don't understand," she said quietly. "Earth learned long ago that the biggest weapon isn't always the most effective one." Taehyun followed her gaze. "Do you think we made the right choice, coming here with just one ship?" Jiwoo smiled slightly. One ship is all we need, Commander. They'll understand that, eventually. She entered her quarters as the door slid shut behind her, leaving the laughing aliens completely unaware of what the small human ship could really do. 3 months after Earth's first meeting with the Confederation, things were not going well. Commander Tae-Yun Kim stood beside the large star map on the Thunderchild's bridge. His finger traced the expanding red area that showed Drakari territory. They've taken 3 more systems in just the past month, he told Captain Jiwoo. The map showed how the Drakari Empire was growing bigger, pushing closer to human space. The Council rejected our formal complaint. They said the systems weren't officially claimed by anyone. Captain Jiwoo rubbed her temples, trying to ease her headache. The Drakari had been busy since humans joined the Confederation. They seemed determined to test Earth's limits. What about Proxima Centauri? She asked. Proxima was Earth's oldest and most important colony outside the solar system. Tae-Hyun's face grew more serious. Our outpost spotted Drakari scout ships at the edge of the system yesterday. They're watching us, testing how we'll respond. Lieutenant Yoonji entered the bridge with fresh reports. More bad news, Captain. The Drakari are telling other Confederation members that humans are too weak to hold territory. They're suggesting Earth doesn't deserve its seat on the Council. Jiwoo was about to respond when the communication panel lit up with an incoming transmission from Earth. Admiral Tuck's stern face appeared on the screen. His gray uniform showed his high rank in Earth's defense forces. Captain Park, the Admiral said without greeting. The situation has escalated. You are to take the Thunderchild to Proxima Centauri immediately. Jiwoo straightened in her chair. What are our orders regarding the Drakari presence there, sir? Show the flag. Make it clear that system belongs to Earth, but avoid direct confrontation at all costs. The Admiral's eyes narrowed. Do you understand, Captain? We cannot afford open conflict at this time. Jiwoo nodded. Yes, Admiral. We'll depart immediately. After the communication ended, Tae-Hyun looked worried. Show the flag but avoid confrontation. How do we do that against the Drakari? Very carefully, Jiwoo said, turning to her crew. Set course for Proxima Centauri, maximum speed. The Thunderchild jumped to faster-than-light travel, its engines humming with a power that belied its small size. The trip to Proxima would take 3 days. During those days, Jiwoo studied everything known about Drakari battle tactics. She had Lieutenant Yoonji brief the crew on what to expect. Remember, Yoonji told them, the Drakari respect strength above all. They will push until we push back, but their arrogance can be used against them. When the Thunderchild dropped out of FTL at Proxima Centauri, the situation was worse than expected. A Drakari battle group of 5 large warships orbited the human colony. Their massive dreadnought, the Conqueror, was 3 times the size of the Thunderchild. They've positioned themselves between us and the colony, Tae-Yun said quietly. Classic blockade formation. Before Jiwoo could respond, the communication system activated. Admiral Grak's face filled their screen, his mandibles clicking with amusement. Ah, the tiny human vessel returns, he said. Have you come to surrender this system now, or shall we take it by force later? Jiwoo kept her face calm despite the insult. This is sovereign human territory, Commander. We request you withdraw your forces. The Drakari commander laughed, the sound harsh through the translator. With what army, human? I see only one small ship. I have 5 warships, each capable of destroying your vessel with a single volley. On the colony below, nearly 10,000 human settlers watched the standoff from their homes. Jiwoo could see emergency signals flashing from the surface. The colonists were preparing for possible evacuation. This system has been inhabited by humans for 43 years, Jiwoo said firmly. The Confederation Charter clearly recognizes our right to this territory. Grak leaned forward, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. The Confederation recognizes the rights of those strong enough to hold what they claim. Are you strong enough, Captain Park? Jiwoo maintained eye contact with the alien commander. I strongly suggest you reconsider your actions, Admiral. Continued aggression toward Earth will have consequences. Threats. Grak seemed delighted. From the species with the smallest fleet in the Confederation. You have courage, human. Misplaced, but admirable. Behind Jiwoo, the bridge crew tensed. Lieutenant Jaehyun, the weapons officer, looked at her questioningly. She gave a small shake of her head. Not yet. We will remain in position. Jiwoo told Grak. This is human space. We won't be intimidated into abandoning our people. Grak's mandibles clicked rapidly. Then we have reached an impasse. Let us see who blinks first, Captain. As the communication ended, Taehyun moved closer to Jiwoo. They outgun us 5-1, Captain. What now? Jiwoo's eyes remained on the massive Drakari ships visible through the viewport. Now, Commander, we wait. And we prepare, because the Drakari have made a serious mistake. What's that? Jiwoo's lips curved in a slight smile. They think our weakness is real. The skies above Proxima Centauri had grown crowded in the week since the Thunderchild arrived. What began as 5 Drakari warships had swelled to 30. The massive vessels formed a tight blockade around the human colony world, their hulls gleaming with weapon ports and sensor arrays. On the Thunderchild's bridge, the mood was tense. Captain Jiwoo stood at the main viewport, watching as another Drakari cruiser moved into position. The human ship looked tiny and fragile compared to the alien armada. They've called in reinforcements from 3 nearby systems, said Commander Taehyun, studying the tactical display. This is no longer just a show of force. Lieutenant Yoonji approached with a datapad. Evacuation of civilians is 90% complete, Captain. The last transports are loading now, but we can't hold this position much longer without some kind of response. Jiwoo nodded grimly. For 7 days, the Thunderchild had maintained its position between the Drakari fleet and the human colony. 7 days of increasing pressure, of taunts and threats from Admiral Grak. 7 days of waiting for instructions from Earth. Any word from home? She asked Taehyun. As if in answer, the communication officer called out, Captain, encrypted transmission from Earth. Security level Alpha. Taehyun collected a secured data tablet from the officer and brought it to Jiwoo. Message from the Earth Security Council. Captain. Eyes only. Jiwoo pressed her thumb to the tablet scanner. The message appeared, and her eyes widened as she read. Singularity Protocol approved. Authorization code. Omega 7 Delta. You are cleared to deploy if diplomatic options fail. Earth stands with you, Captain Park. She looked up from the tablet, meeting Taehyun's questioning gaze. He had not seen the message, but he knew what it might contain. Is it time? He asked quietly. Jiwoo took a deep breath. Begin preparations. Quietly. The bridge crew exchanged glances. They all knew what preparations meant. From the day the Thunderchild launched, they had trained for this possibility. Lieutenant Jaehyun, the weapons officer, turned to his console. His hands moved carefully over the controls, entering a complex sequence of commands. No alerts sounded. No lights flashed. The ship's power distribution shifted subtly, routing energy to systems that, according to all external scans, did not exist. How long? Jiwoo asked. 20 minutes to full charge, Jaehyun replied softly. The main view screen flickered suddenly, and Admiral Grak's face appeared. The Drakari commander looked different today. His exoskeleton had been painted with bright war markings, and additional armor covered his shoulders. Captain Park, he said, his translator making his voice sound like grinding stones. My patience wears thin. Your colony continues to evacuate, which tells me you know you cannot win this confrontation. Jiwoo faced the screen calmly. We are simply taking precautions, Admiral, as is our right. Grak's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of irritation. Rights? Let me explain how the galaxy truly works, human. The strong take what they want. The weak surrender or die. That is the only law that matters. Behind Juwu, Taehyun whispered, 17 minutes to full charge. I had hoped you might prove more reasonable than other primitive species, Grak continued. But it seems humans are both weak and stubborn. A dangerous combination. The Admiral leaned closer to his camera. You have 1 Earth hour to surrender this system and retreat, or we will obliterate your pathetic vessel and claim this system regardless. Juwu nodded slowly, buying time. I understand, Commander. I request time to consult with my government. Grak's 6 eyes narrowed. 59 minutes, human. The screen went dark. Juwu turned immediately to her weapons officer. Lieutenant Jaehyun, prepare the NOVA cannon. Silent protocol. Jaehyun's hands flew across his console. Yes, Captain. Around the bridge, the crew worked with quiet efficiency. They had hoped this day would never come, but they had prepared for it nonetheless. Captain, Yoonji said from her station, the Drakari ships are adjusting their positions. They're spreading out to surround us completely. Juwu nodded. They think they're being cautious. They don't realize they're making our job easier. 12 minutes to full charge, Jaehyun reported. Taehyun stepped close to Juwu, speaking for her ears only. This will change everything. The Confederation. The balance of power. Nothing will be the same after today. Juwu looked at the tactical display, where 30 red dots surrounded one small blue one. They gave us no choice, Commander. I know, Taehyun said. I just wonder if we're ready for what comes next. Juwu turned to look at her crew, humans all, working with determination to protect their kind. The Drakari had mistaken their restraint for weakness. They had seen the Thunderchild's small size and lack of visible weapons as proof of human inferiority. They would learn their mistakes soon enough. 10 minutes to full charge, Jaehyun announced. Juwu took her captain's chair. And so it begins. Time ticked away on the bridge of the Thunderchild. The ship hung alone in space, facing 30 Drakari warships. The hour Admiral Grak had given them was almost over. 30 seconds to ultimatum expiration, said Taehyun, checking his watch. His voice stayed calm even though everyone felt scared. Through the big window at the front of the bridge, they could see the Drakari ships moving. The alien vessels formed a half circle, their weapon ports glowing bright blue as they charge. They're targeting us, Captain, Yoonji said from her station. Her fingers moved quickly over her screen. All 30 vessels have weapons locked on the Thunderchild. Captain Juwu sat in her command chair. She looked relaxed, almost peaceful. Nothing in her face showed fear or worry. Lieutenant Jaehyun, NOVA status, she asked. Jaehyun stood at the weapons console. His hands hovered over controls that no one outside Earth knew existed. Primed and ready, Captain. Targeting solution locked on fleet central coordinates. The speakers on the bridge suddenly came alive with Admiral Grak's harsh voice. Your time is up, humans. Your weakness ends here. The bridge crew looked at their captain. This was the moment that would change everything. Humans had kept their true technology secret since joining the Confederation. Today, that secrecy would end. Juwu nodded once. Fire. Jaehyun pressed a glowing blue button on his console. There was no bright flash, no thundering noise, no shaking of the ship, just a small ripple in space, like a tiny wave on a pond, moving from the front of the Thunderchild toward the Drakari fleet. For 3 long seconds, nothing happened. Some of the crew wondered if the weapon had failed. Then reality itself seemed to bend. A tiny black dot appeared in the middle of the Drakari fleet formation. It wasn't much bigger than a pinhead from the Thunderchild's viewpoint, but that dot was the deadliest thing humans had ever created. It controlled quantum singularity. NOVA deployed, Jaehyun reported quietly. Gravity well forming. The ships closest to the black dot began to stretch. Their metal hulls pulled and twisted as if they were made of rubber. The effect spread outward, catching more and more ships. On the bridge, the crew watched in shocked silence. They had trained for this, seen simulations, but the real thing was different, more terrible, more final. "My God," whispered Taiyun. The Drakari ships tried to escape. Their engines flared bright as they fought against the growing pull of the singularity. But it was too late. The gravity well grew stronger every second. Metal screamed as ships were torn apart. Hulls cracked open. Engines exploded. One by one, the mighty Drakari warships were pulled into the tiny point of darkness at the center of their formation. 17 ships consumed, reported Yunji, her voice shaking. 22, 25. In just 20 seconds, 27 Drakari warships had been completely destroyed. Only 3 vessels remained, those that had been at the very edge of the formation. One of them was Grak's command ship, the Conqueror. All 3 ships were badly damaged, spinning out of control, parts of their hulls torn away. "Singularity collapsing," reported Jae-yun. "Field stabilizing." The black dot began to shrink. The NOVA cannon wasn't designed to create a permanent black hole that would have been too dangerous. Instead, it created a temporary singularity that collapsed after a short time. As the singularity disappeared, the bridge crew saw the full results of their weapon. Where a mighty fleet had been, only floating debris and 3 crippled ships remained. "Scan for life signs," ordered Juwoo. Yunji checked her readings, detecting survivors on all 3 remaining vessels, including the Conqueror. Their life support systems are damaged but functioning. Juwoo stood up from her chair. For the first time, her face showed emotion. Not triumph, but sadness. "Send a message to Earth. The NOVA cannon has been deployed. Results as expected." She paused. "Also inform them that Admiral Grak survived. That will be important for what comes next." Taeyun came to stand beside her at the viewport. 27 ships gone in 20 seconds. They never even fired a shot. "No," said Juwoo quietly. "They didn't." "Was it worth it?" asked Taeyun. "The secret's out now. Everyone will know what we can do." Juwoo watched as one of the damaged Drakari ships managed to stabilize its spin. "We didn't want this. We tried diplomacy. We tried warnings. But yes, Commander, it was worth it. The Confederation needs to understand that humanity will not be conquered or bullied." She turned to communications. "Open a channel to the Conqueror." A static-filled image appeared on screen. Admiral Grak's command center was in ruins. The Admiral himself was injured, blue fluid leaking from cracks in his exoskeleton. "Admiral," said Juwoo, "do you require medical assistance?" Grak stared at her with disbelief in all 6 of his eyes. "What have you done?" he asked. "Exactly what we warned you we would do," replied Juwoo. "We defended what was ours." 6 weeks after the battle at Proxima Centauri, Captain Juwoo Park stood in the Grand Hall of the Confederation Council. The room was huge, with seats for representatives from 200 alien species. Today, every seat was filled. They had all come to hear Earth explain what happened. News of the battle had spread fast across the galaxy. Everyone knew that one small human ship had destroyed 27 Drakari warships with a single shot. The story seemed impossible, but the proof was in the floating wreckage still being cleared from Proxima Centauri. Juwoo wore her best uniform. Her dark hair was neatly pulled back. She looked small on the speaking platform, surrounded by the much larger alien representatives. "Thank you for allowing me to address the council," she began. Her voice carried through the silent hall. "I know many of you have questions about what happened at Proxima Centauri." She paused, looking around the room. Many aliens leaned forward in their seats. Some had extra eyes that blinked at different times. Others had no eyes at all but sensing organs that turned toward her. Humanity did not develop the NOVA technology to conquer or dominate. Juwoo said clearly. "We developed it because we are small, because we are few, and because we wish to ensure our survival without entering an arms race that would bankrupt our civilization." A low murmur spread through the hall. Several delegates whispered to each other. Juwu noticed the Drakari delegation was much smaller than before. Admiral Grak was not present. In his place sat a younger, quieter diplomat who watched Juwu with all 6 eyes unblinking. Earth offers cooperation and peaceful exchange. Juwu continued, "We have no plans to take territory beyond our existing systems, but we will defend what is ours decisively and absolutely if necessary." She stepped back from the speaking platform, signaling the end of her short speech. For a moment, the hall remained silent. Then, one by one, delegates began to approach her. A tall, thin alien with silver skin reached her first. "The Madorian Collective wishes to discuss cultural exchange with Earth," the alien said in a musical voice. "We find your approach interesting." Before Juwu could respond, another delegate pushed forward. This one had thick fur and 4 arms. "The Vespen Republic would like to propose a research partnership," it said eagerly. "Not weapons research," it added quickly, "but medical technologies." More delegates gathered around her. Some offered trade deals. Others wanted to establish diplomatic ties. Even species that had ignored humans before now wanted to talk. Commander Taehyun watched from a distance, smiling slightly. He caught Juwu's eye and gave her a small nod. This was what Earth had hoped for: respect, not fear. Later that day, back aboard the Thunderchild, Juwu stood by the large window in her quarters. The ship was docked at the Confederation Central Station, the same place where aliens had laughed at them months ago. No one was laughing now. The door chimed, and Taehyun entered when Juwu called out. "Quite a day," he said, joining her by the window. "I counted 17 treaty proposals and 32 requests for diplomatic meetings." Juwu kept looking at the stars. "And how many requests for information about the NOVA technology?" 28, Taehyun admitted. "All politely declined, as per Earth's instructions." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment. "They're calling it the shot heard across the galaxy," Taehyun said finally. "It's already becoming a legend. Some species are saying we have magic, not technology." Juwu sighed deeply. "I hope it's the last shot we ever have to fire." "Peace through strength?" Taehyun asked. "Peace through respect," she corrected. "They laughed at our ship, but they never asked why we only needed one." Through the window, they could see ships from many worlds moving around the station. A Drakari vessel passed by, keeping a noticeable distance from the Thunderchild. "What happens now?" asked Taehyun. Juwu turned from the window. "Now we do what we said we would do. We trade, we learn, we share what we can." She smiled slightly. "And we keep some secrets, just in case." "Do you think they understand us better now?" Taehyun wondered. "They understand our power," Juwu said. "Understanding who we are will take more time." She looked back at the stars, thinking of Earth, so far away. Humans had been alone for so long, thinking they were the only intelligent life in the universe. Now they knew better. The galaxy was full of life, some friendly, some not. "We came in peace," Juwu said softly, "and now they believe us." She touched the small Earth emblem on her uniform. One small planet that had learned big lessons from its own violent history. One small ship that carried a powerful message. Sometimes the smallest things made the biggest difference.